I already uploaded the best team video for the GT duo. Today we're focusing only on the Z duo and their best teams and best rotations you can run with them as leader or with them as the main focus of the team. I will say that out of both anniversary LRs, I do personally believe that the Z duo has a better leader skill, simply because final trump card I think just has overall stronger units than what the GT duo lead, which is Battle of Fate, and you'll see that in this video. And of course, if you take a look at the other video I uploaded earlier for the GT boys, Battle of Fate is definitely a strong category, but it just lacks, I think, power. Not overall, but just compared to final trump cards. So let's take a look at some, again, rotations, and then some floating options, so some third slot options, and then another thing for you to really take in consideration when you're building a team around this character. So first things first, Power of Wishes and Final Trump Card are their categories, and this is essentially what we're working with here. You can run some really wonky stuff, if you really want to. Like, let's say, for example, you felt a little extra, what's the word here? A little extra, let me go back to actually page 1, a little extra devious, if you will. You can essentially technically run like a rotation of, like, let's say the GT duo, the both 8th year anniversary LRs if you really wanted to. And then maybe a rotation of like Zamasu and, Tag Goku Black and Zamasu, right? Like, you can make that rotation work. It's definitely possible within the realm of this team here. I didn't really pull it up as an option, but you can still get things like that done when it comes to both of these teams here. Everything I show you isn't going to be the only rotations you can get done, but what I would consider some of these stronger rotations. So let's hop into the first one. Of course, both of the 8th year anniversary LRs as a rotation is, of course, extremely powerful, sharing 5 out of 7 links, 9 teams in total. And the best part is both of them just have crazy defensive and offensive utility. We're talking about Revive, the standby skills, the attacks they do after there's just so much damage dealing and so much defensive utility going on that it's really hard to kill a rotation of these two units, especially with some of the floater options we have that I'm going to show you a little bit later. This is also another possible rotation. I will say, not the strongest rotation. They do lack key for their links, but I just wanted to show you this. I had this pop up here for 2 reasons. One, to show you that you can run the 7th year LRs as a rotation, but mostly I wanted to show you here that both of the 7th year LRs are on this team, right? And you want to know why that is? It's because of Final Trump Card. You don't have this option with Battle of Fate. Battle of Fate, you don't have both of these LRs here, so this just opens the door for more options for you to run if you decided to run any of the anniversary LRs. That's why I essentially pulled them up here. You can run this rotation. Key is not the greatest thing of all time if you decide to do that, but again, it's just to show you that both of these 7th year LRs are on this team, so you can make it work with either this rotation or another unit with, let's say, LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta, or another unit with, let's say, God Goku and God Vegeta. That's just, again, another option for you. We also have the 5th year LRs here, right? And honestly, the 3rd year LRs as well. There's a lot of anniversary LRs on this team, only possible because of that final trump card passive, and, sorry, part of the leader skill. And the best part about it is that these two are getting easy A's in part 3. So it may not be the best looking rotation right now, but when they get their easy A's, they're going to be cooking. As, like, dude, one rotation of these two, another rotation of these two, that is power. That's extremely strong. All right, these two and these two is a very good, very strong rotation. After, of course, they are easy 8. So just keep that in mind. Unfortunately, they are not on the full 170 the full 200, because the the Z boys are giving the Connected Hope in Majin Buu Saga. It's just a bad choice, in my opinion, when it comes to deciding these other 2 categories here. But the 170, I think, is what really matters, and the power of this team and the supports we have later to mention, I think, are definitely going to make up for that lack of the 200% leader skill, right? So again, really strong options here. Again, the 3rd year anniversary LRs, their transformations, the HP that they heal, the counters that Vegito can do. There's just a lot of damage that can be done on this rotation. and a lot of longevity this rotation ends up offering you. So definitely a strong rotation that you can run in case you don't have. The reason why I'm showing you so many rotations, by the way, is because I know not everyone is going to have both of these LRs, or both of these LRs, or both of these LRs. So if you don't have those, then maybe you can run, you know, this rotation here, right? I just spoiled another rotation, but God Goku and Vegeta linked up with God Goku, definitely a really strong rotation, especially with the orb changing that God Goku offers. And if he gets that, and you know, the 6 orbs and the guard additional super attack, it's going to end up being a really solid rotation for these two. You can also run the rotation of Piccolo and Tech Ultimate Gohan. I will say Tech Ultimate Gohan is on the 200%. Piccolo is not on the 200%. They do share Power of Wishes together, though. But what I will say is that Tech Ultimate Gohan, this rotation looks scary because we're not really seeing a lot of like links here. But Tech Ultimate Gohan, remember, is building up his own ki. So with essentially, you know, 2 liters of 3 ki plus his own ki, he's essentially having 9 ki. And you only need 3 more ki to super attack, which is going to be taken care of with the with the supports we have later again to mention. On top of that, Piccolo himself does have the really strong ability here to get an additional ki +1 per ki sphere obtained. And if he receives an attack, all allies 2 ki within the same turn after receiving an attack. So if he gets hit, he's not only getting his own ki, or getting more ki for himself, but ki for this rotation as well. So again, very, very strong. Ki is a problem, but there's definitely workarounds for this rotation. You can also get this rotation or pop this rotation out. This rotation isn't the greatest of all time, right? But this character is getting an easy A. This is fairly new on Global Dokkan still. So you have a lot of offensive and defensive power on here. God Goku stacking defense, he can guard. And then Kaioken Goku, you can set him up to just do a lot of insane damage, especially after his EZA. Again, a lot of power that you can get out of this rotation. You can also do this, right? The Gods Goku and the EZA for Spirit Bomb Absorb Goku. Again, not Spirit Bomb Absorbs, but, you know, Spirit Bomb Kaioken Goku. Again, so these are just some of the really, you know, strong and main rotations you can run with the team, or using, you know, the GTZ boys as your leader. Okay, keep that in mind. And then when it comes to support, you know, on this team is amazing. We have LR Bulma, a character I'm personally running. LR Bulma, 3 ki, 37% for 2 turns is just insane. I'm sorry, this is still just one of the most insane things they've ever decided to do. So imagine you have this unit on rotation, and they, you know, like, she's basically supporting throughout the entire fight if she can get 5 ki spheres, because when she's on rotation, that support goes off. Actually, not the entire fight, because there will be one turn where I guess you won't have her on the turn. But imagine she's on the turn with, let's say, the GT duo, right? Or sorry, the GT and the Z duo. You get the support off. Then you have 2 turns of support. So not only are these characters getting it, but let's say your other rotation of this 2 units are definitely, they're sharing that support. It's 37%. That's very strong. It is very, very, very strong. So keep that in mind. The damage reduction, the greatly raising attack and defense on both supers. It's a beautiful thing to see. This Bulma being on this team. That's the reason why I summoned for her on Global, because she's essentially an 8th year anniversary buff. We also have this option here, Android 17. Now Android 17. Actually, wait a minute, hold on. Yeah, Final Trump card, cool. So he is on the Final Trump card part of the Z Boys leader skill. The 120% defense on top of 50% defense, on top of 60% defense that he's getting, but also giving to all allies, by the way, a very strong support. This is an extremely, extremely strong support. You also have damage reduction, and then extra defense for all allies, and damage reduction for himself when HP is 77% or less, which of course is a very good, very, very, very good. And then also raising defense at the end of turn, or I guess in the 3rd slot before he gets hit, is also going to be beneficial as well. You also have Turles as a support option. Won't link the absolute best, doesn't really matter though, because he's giving all allies 3 ki, 40% to attack, and if you're facing a enemy, a super class enemy, sorry, you'll be also giving 40% defense to all allies as well. Again, not the great, like, I won't be running turretless, but I pulled them up here because not everyone has these two characters, right? So I'm trying to give you as many options as possible, which brings me to this Super Vegito getting an EZA in just a few days for Global Dokkan guide coming soon. Stay tuned for that. But I think he has a lot of value in that third slot, right? The counters, sometimes you get hit really, really hard for normals even in that last slot. So being able to reduce that damage by 80% in counter, I think is really, really, really big. Building up defense in the last slot as well, so I think is really, really strong. If this was for 2 turns, he would be the ultimate third slot unit, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, you can run him in slot, like, there's options for you to run, right? Like, you can run him, and let's say, like, one of the 5-year LRs or in Vegito, right? So you're running that rotation. You put this guy in the first slot, and like, when he super attacks, he's essentially raising everyone's attack and defense by 30% for the turn. So he has value in the third slot. It's just a little scary because if he gets supered, you can probably end up dying, right? So just keep that in mind. Anyways, you also have this option here in Hercule. Now, Hercule, you know, is definitely one of those meme characters, but I will say that he's not bad, okay? Having the ability to reduce damage received by 50 to 90% is just, again, stupid. In any situation where you have a lot of HP, he's going to definitely be okay, right? And keep in mind, with all the defensive stacking you have with this rotation here, you're going to be at a high amount of HP for a majority of the fight, unless you have some really, really, you know, bad luck or bad rotations, whatever the case may be. But and then having dodge on top of that, like this, if this character had build up or stackable defense for every single time he dodged up to like 90%, he'd just be so freaking stupid. And then you also have this unit if you pulled Super Saiyan 3, Gotenks, and Piccolo. Now, this isn't the greatest character to have in, you know, third slot, but again, it's just another option. A high chance of changing Orbs to Rainbow is definitely useful, right? When it does actually proc. Medium chance to dodge at a 12 key super is definitely useful, right? The stacking defense on that 12 key could also be useful. What's really annoying is they have another super attack that stacks attack, and if they get an additional super attack, it'll default to this one, I believe. So you won't be able to get multiple defensive stacks per turn, but it is what it is. And then we have God Goku. Now, God Goku, like I mentioned before, I don't know if it was this video or the other video about the GT duo, but this character has orb changing for 6 turns, physical, which is definitely going to benefit the Z duo here. I keep misclicking, but the Z duo here. And they also, or he also, if he can get those orbs off, is going to be able to guard and launch an additional super attack where he is stacking his own defense and attack. So he definitely can be a really good third slot unit. He's also getting stats on super. Units who get stats on super are definitely better in that second and third slot, or just better before they get attacked, period, because they're missing some of their stats, especially defensive stats, you know, before they end up getting supered. So you know, him in that third slot, if he gets a super attack first, it's going to just make him look a lot better defensively. So keep that in mind. But another reason why I pulled up Goku here is because he does lead Pure Saiyans and is giving 30% to Power of Wishes and Exploding Rage. But we only care about Power of Wishes because both the Anniversary LRs are on Pure Saiyans and Power of Wishes. So you can actually run with Goku's Leader Skill as in Pure Saiyans. You can run the Anniversary LRs as an option, and then just use any other Pure Saiyan that you want. If you want to run Carnival Goku for the support, amazing option. God Goku for the dodging and plot 3, amazing option. Path to Power Goku, right, with that damage reduction support, amazing option. There is just a infinite amount of options you can get away with when it comes to the Pure Saiyan side of the game. So let's just say, for example, you have both Anniversary LRs, and you have God Goku as well. You can run God Goku as, if you don't like any of these other rotations here, you can run God Goku as your lead, run the rotation of the 8th year Anniversary LRs, and then go to town with running any other Pure Saiyan that you want to run. There's, again, an infinite amount of rotations you can possibly pull up here, so I didn't pull up every single one, obviously, but there's the list just goes on forever here, so I'm pretty sure you understand. Let me know what you think, though. I think that the Z Boys definitely has the better leader skill. Final Trump card is definitely a better category than Battle of Fate, which allows for a lot of better options here. So let me know what you think. Hopefully you enjoyed. Good luck running this team. Good luck running these rotations. Good luck with the 8th year anniversary. I'll see you in the next one. Take care and peace.